Right, good morning year 2. Second time you'll be seeing me today, but this is for our English lesson, okay? So we are focusing on our writing. So first of all, we need to add suffixes to this word, to these words. We're thinking about our spelling rules. So if you remember, we have learnt about it in class, where sometimes with the Y, you need to change it to an I, and sometimes we don't do anything, we just add the suffix. Okay, so you've got 4 words here. You've got stamped, replied, grumpier, and sweetest. So in your books, just have a go at when you put it all together, what word will that make? All right, give you a few minutes to do that. So, hopefully, you saw that it should be stamped. For replied, this is one we have to change the Y to an I to make it replied, and that's the same with grumpier. Change that Y to an I. But then for sweetest, it stays the same. Okay, so when you've got that Y next to another consonant, you need to change it. Right, on to lesson proper. So today we are going to box up our reports. Now we've boxed up all our writing that we've done over the term. We did it for our description, we did it for our Paddington story, we did it for our recount. Now we're doing it for our report. It's all about just planning it out in as much detail as possible, our beginning, middle, and end. Now, the key things for this are using those key words, which we'll go over again, and writing in full sentences. All right? We'll go over it when we get to the sheets, but it's very important that we write in full sentences. So, by now, we should be experts with these words. We should be kings and queens, but to be very quick, have a go. Which words go with which? Okay, hopefully we all remembered that the crying teddy bear is distraught. Eliza, come here. Come here. My dog's a bit angry, so she's going to come help us. Come on. Come on. Ugh. Right. Eliza, what do you think? Which one looks like a king? Yes, it is this one. Well done. Okay. And then we have spreading fire, because the fire is spreading everywhere. Embers, we have to look over here at, remember when it's just a little bit of fire left over, the embers of a fire. Okay. And then we have our bakery, nice and simple. It even says in the picture, it's a bakery, a shop where we get things like bread and muffins. And then catastrophe, when something really bad happens, something really awful happens, like the Great Fire of London. Okay, so those are our key words. So when you get to boxing up your report, I want to see all 6 of these words included at some point. All right, so we've read this loads of times, but I'm going to read it one more time for you guys. So this is my paper of the London Gazette. The title is London Ablaze. There was tragedy in our capital city as a fire raged from house to house. It all started at Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane, where a few embers in his oven caught alight and the fire grew from there. The fire began spreading quickly because of the strong winds, and the houses were close together. The king got houses to be pulled down to try and stop the fire, but it did not work. Citizens were seen fleeing from the catastrophe in boats with all their possessions. Saddest of all, St. Paul's Cathedral, which is over 1,000 years old, perished in the fire. This left many people distraught as their homes were also in ruins. Finally, after 5 days, the fire was put out. Okay, so through my text, I tried to cover as much as I could about the fire. All right, so now it's your turn to box it up. All right, you've seen these. We normally do these sheets in school. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to have to draw out all these boxes, but still break it down like this if you want. So have beginning, and then you've got 3 prompts to help you think about how you're going to start it, and then a middle, how you're going to carry it on, and then your ending. So let's start with beginning. So the first thing you have to do is think of a title for your paper. Mine's called the London Gazette, but you can come up with any title you like. It could be one that you've used previously for one of your other pieces of work, but yeah, just have a think about that. Then we get into the sentences proper. Okay, so your first sentence should be, what has happened? Okay, so if you see on my thing, on my model text, there was tragedy in our capital city as a fire raged from house to house. So you need to tell me straight away what has happened. Okay, why are you writing this report? Because there was a fire. A fire has happened in London. So in your first sentence, all you are telling me is what has happened. Then your second sentence is, where did it start? Hopefully you can remember where it started, but if not, just go back to the text. It all started at Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane, okay? And then you can even go into more detail like I did, where a few embers in his oven caught alight. And, sorry, you can include different features that we always talk about. So here a noun phrase, here a conjunction. So that's your beginning. That's your first job, to do your beginning. Just at least one sentence for each box. Obviously, this first one is just a title, but for these two, at least one sentence. But I expect some of you can do more than one, okay? Then we go on to our middle, but only go on to this once you finish your beginning. So if you haven't done your beginning yet, pause the video, do your beginning, then move on to your middle. Right, so for your middle, you've got, why did the fire spread quickly? Okay, we've talked loads about this in history and in English now. And again, look at the text if you need help. Try and include an adjective to go with it. Once you've done a sentence about that, go on to, what did the king do? How did the king react? He ordered people to do something. What was it? Can you even include a question there? Okay, something like, what did the king choose to do? Why did he wait so long? Things like this. And then, what did the people of London do? How did people who lived in London at the time react? Where did they go? What did they do? How did they try to escape? Yeah, so that's your middle. All right, so once you've done your beginning, you then move on to your middle. At least a sentence for each, full sentences, and try and include these different features in there. All right, once you've done your middle, so again, pause it, do your middle, then come on to your ending. For your ending, you've got 3 more. You've got, what London landmark was destroyed? Can you include a conjunction? Okay, so it's in the model text, but a huge London landmark was destroyed. Actually, kind of two. The London Bridge wasn't destroyed, but it was engulfed in flames. But the London landmark that was destroyed, so St. Paul's Cathedral, can you write a sentence about that and include a conjunction? Then, how long did it take for the fire to be put out? How long did the fire rage for? Okay, hopefully, I'm not going to give you any hints, but you remember how long it was, how many days it was. And then finally, I didn't do this in my report, but if you just want to put a bit of extra for yourself, what are people now going to build houses with? So you could end with a sentence about moving forward. What are people now going to build their houses with? We've talked about that in history, because before all the houses were built out of wood, which they realized is not great for a fire. So what are they going to build it with now? Okay. Now, that is a lot of writing. I completely understand that. So if you only get through your beginning and your middle, that's absolutely fine. I'll put some time into the lesson tomorrow for you to do your ending then. all right? But yeah, try and get as much of it done today as possible, and then we can finish the rest tomorrow. All right. Have a lovely rest of morning, and I'll see you, well, you'll see me in the afternoon. Thanks, everyone.